I dreamed a dream that cryptos crashed, that FUD was high and dips worth buying. The gains from there would never die. Would you like to learn what are my top 5 cryptocurrencies that are no risk investments of a lifetime that could make you FU money? Money that would change your life and provide money and fortunes for generations to come. Would you like to learn also what I believe is going to be the short-term movements of the crypto market and why I think prices have gone down and are staying down in an unplanned way? All of this coming in today's episode. If you love the sound of this, make sure you watch on. My name is the Suppoman, your superhero of 100x altcoins. If you love content like this, you want to be rich from cryptocurrency, make sure you subscribe and be part of 13,000 fantastic subscribers within Team Suppo. Make sure you smash a like on this video, and let me just make sure that I am live. Yes, I is live, so make sure that you do me a solid as soon as you can by smashing that like button. Also, make sure that you follow me on Instagram. Yesterday, I put a story on Instagram explaining my views on the market currently. So make sure you follow instagram.com/suppoman.yt. So we got so much to cover in today's episode, and I promise you this is going to provide you with some fantastic information for future investments. So let me just do what I always do and share this over to the good people of Twitter. There, we are done. It is sent over to the people of Twitter. And let me make sure that the chat interface is working properly so that I can chat with you guys. So we got people in the house. So make sure you smash that like button. It keeps me making regular content for you. Now, where are we at? So if we have a look at what has happened with Bitcoin in literally the last 4 or 5 days. So we have seen Bitcoin in this sideways channel, which is completely unplanned. So if you have been watching my latest videos, you will know that my anticipation of what's going to happen to the market is that we are in for turbulence in this zone here, aka September, where we are predicted to earn predicted to lose at least 26% of Bitcoin's price, and that would make the altcoins shoot down even further, maybe even some rapid drops of, who knows, maybe 40%. But prior to us entering into this turbulence zone, we have actually experienced a quite sizable dip. Now, if you watch my Instagram story, you will know my thoughts on this, which is that I believe there is at least one entity behind this. Okay, and one entity potentially that is responsible for the price of Bitcoin going down to late 20,000 zone when it was safely in the 23,500 zone. So as you can see, when the price starts to go up, it gets suckered back down to this support level of about 20,700. Now at this very present time, we are at the higher end. So breaking out of that is what I imagine is going to happen at some point, but there is potentially an entity behind this, and that entity is likely to be Celsius. Now, Celsius spent millions of dollars in a mining operation. So they mined Bitcoin. Now, they are in a dire situation where they are attempting to stay in the market. And one of those ways could be to keep themselves afloat by selling their mined Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin they have been mining, they have been given authority to be able to sell this Bitcoin. Now, it's very likely that they have been selling their Bitcoin, and that is why the prices are dropping of Bitcoin. Okay, now this is coinciding with the Dixie going on a new high, getting up towards a new high. But I do personally believe this was unplanned. I don't think that such a rapid sell-off happened by accident. I think it was instigated either by Celsius, other other theories is that there's new ASICs Bitcoin miners, which are 3 times cheaper and more efficient to buy in order to mine Bitcoin. And what miners are doing is they are actually selling their Bitcoins so that they can buy this new mining equipment and start a more efficient operation. We're never going to know the truth. But what we can do is we can make deductions. But I personally do not think that this was planned. I do not think that this was part of the equation when it came to the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and the cryptocurrency market losing value. Now, there is a theory, okay? So let me just show you that theory. Let me just go to the 1 day and zoom out a little bit. So one of the theories is that we had this high test, okay? So this high test is where the Bitcoin price goes to before a massive slump in prices. This is technically going to be the best place for Bitcoin to drop. All right, so should it have gone up, which is what people were anticipating, and I was one of the people that was anticipating that Bitcoin was going to be shooting up in the run-up to the Ethereum merge, was that Bitcoin was going to be shooting up, the market was going to be in a relative health come the end of August, like it has been in traditional cycles. End of August tends to be a pretty good time for Bitcoin. And then the beginning of September is an awful, terrible, catastrophic time for Bitcoin, where it retraces well below the local lows of Bitcoin. So we could have seen local lows below 17,500. However, it has not gotten and achieved this high test, which is where I think the market would be technically happy for Bitcoin to reach before a retracement. So retracement is already happening and has gone into a new channel. So as you can see here, what needs to happen in order for there to be new price action or a new momentum for Bitcoin is essentially a trend breaking. And what happened here is the trend essentially has broken. It has gone from this upwards compression wedge into a sideways channel outside of that wedge. So it seems to me like this is like off key. It's not supposed to be happening. So it's quite unpredictable what's likely to happen next. But one of the theories is that Bitcoin is going to go up prior to September. But who knows? That could be suppressed by whatever entity is holding crypto down. Now, ultimately, I am looking to make FU money in cryptocurrency, regardless of whether you follow my exact strategy or whatever your strategy is. And I would recommend that you do not use this as financial advice. You don't use this as any sort of advice, but merely as a documentation of an investor's journey into when the best time to invest is. And not necessarily follow it, but have your own plan. But my plan is to do some absolutely absurd amounts of buying. But that time I do not think is yet. But I'm going to get to that time very, very shortly. But that is the reason why I think that Bitcoin has gone down. And I think it is because of one particular entity that is responsible for it. Now let's have a look and see what else is happening. This news story is essentially a sign of the times. Okay, so there were people quick to call that a bottom was in. If you have a look on Twitter, there are still many people saying the bottom is already in at 17.5 and continue to say it. But I believe we have not even begun to see the brunt of the economic hardship, the macroeconomic environment, which is going to severely impact upon Bitcoin. And this is one of many stories that I think is going to be impacting Bitcoin across the course of time and as we reach the peak buying opportunity, which I'm going to get to very, very shortly. So Bitcoin miners forced to sell mining rigs to pay debt. So US Bitcoin mining company Stronghold Digital Mining is feeling the squeeze following devastating crash that rocked the industry this year. They have had to sell off 25.2k mining rigs. 25,000 mining rigs to clear $67.4 million in debt. This is one entity, okay? And this is in conjunction with Celsius. The mining entities, I think, is going to be one of the big downfalls for cryptocurrency as we move into what I imagine is going to be the most turbulent time in all of the crypto industry ever. A time when I think we are going to be likely seeing 14, 12, 10k or under 10k Bitcoin. Let's see what else is happening in the market. So, the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT, the premium NFT collection, is currently at a 70% dip from its highs earlier this year. And one of these reasons is because of apes being acquired by a lending service called Ben DAO. Now, what's happening is there is likely to be a liquidation, which means that Bored Apes go even lower. So the NFT market, this is just one of those big events. You look at a collection. You look at a collective. Celsius was one of them. Three Areas Capital was another one. Terra Luna was another one. And Ethereum Merge has been a bullish one. But the Bored Ape Yacht Club one could be another negative one that just takes the market down another notch. Now, we have also had FTX receiving a cease and desist order amongst 5 other companies. This is just a sign of the times. This is not even an avalanche or storm of negative news. This is just individual pieces of news that kind of justifies price action. But I think that this is just going to be one of many stories that is going to form a shitstorm very, very soon. China. This is another one of those stories completely ignored because everybody's looking at whether the Fed's going to get hawkish or dovish. People are wondering whether in September the interest rate is going to go a notch higher, whether it's going to be kept at 0.75%, if it's going to go to 1%, or if actually it may come down slightly. And the reason why that would happen is not because of the truth. The reason why it would happen is purely because of midterm elections coming up. The Fed are coming off their holiday, and restrictive rates are likely to be happening for a while. I personally think for a year at least. But China is having literally a collapse happening right now. They have just reported an 11-month consecutive drop in house prices. Property giants are going to be falling. And Evergrande is just going to be one of, I believe, many catastrophes happening in China. The euro has fallen to a 2-decade low versus the US dollar. So actually, where the euro was 1-to-1 with the US dollar, which is unheard of, it's actually fallen lower. UK inflation is likely to hit 18% in 2023, says Citibank. Now, this has caused ripples in the UK economy. So the UK economy, we're currently at around about 10.1 to 10.7% inflation in the UK. And this is not even considering that we are about to go into the highest cost time in the UK. We are presently changing season. We have had it very hot in the UK in just the last month. But where we're going is we are going to be descending into real cold weather. And this is going to be a time when the heaters go on and electricity and oil prices are going to hit the UK resident like a sledgehammer. What we're going to be seeing is we are going to be seeing inflation going high, energy prices, gas prices skyrocketing, electricity is going to be double the cost and at the worst time. And inflation is going to be sky high. This is leading to, I believe, the best ever time to buy. And I think that's going to be Q1 2023. That's what I think. I think Q1 2023 is where we are going to have the peak of everything going badly. We're going to have a bad US economy because the midterm elections will have happened and all of a sudden the Fed's going to get hawkish. Interest rates are going to go sky high. UK, exactly the same. China is going to have repercussion. The effect on the China economy is going to have repercussions on the entire globe. Energy prices are going to go sky high. And we are still going to be at war in Russia and Ukraine. The big shitstorm, I think, is going to hit its peak in Q1 2023. And that is where I think we are going to see the all-time best prices. I think that that's going to be the worst of it. And then as we come into the spring at the end of quarter one, then the energy bills are not going to have such a big impact on the world. And we're going to start easing, I believe. And who knows when Russia and Ukraine are going to come to an end. But I personally believe that would kick off a bull market. But that is definitely, I believe, not going to be the case in quarter one, 2023. And I think that is where we are going to see the absolute best prices ever. And I personally foresee that we are going to have a quite hideous drop. Now, regardless of what happens to Bitcoin in this area, I think that we are going to probably be seeing something. Hold on a minute. We're going to probably be seeing something like this, okay, happening in quarter one. I think we're going to. I think it's going to be just brilliant for anybody who is looking to make fortunes with cryptocurrency. So anyway, I am now going to move on to the top five best cryptocurrencies I believe one could invest in. Now, you may want to follow this list here, which is what I call the investment of a lifetime watch list on CoinMarketCap. This, I think, essentially tabulates the best investments of a lifetime. However, let's move on into this. This. So before I do that, let me just have a look and see what you guys are saying. Make sure I haven't missed any super chats or the like. So Buddy Holidays, thank you for the energetic videos and honest views on crypto. Your thoughts on the Mt. Gox Bitcoin becoming available. I have mixed thoughts about that, Buddy Holidays. I have mixed thoughts. Ultimately, in any other market, even the mere news of it is going to be sending negative ripples into the market. I remember back in, I think it was April 2018, when all of a sudden, the Mt. Gox creditor was selling Bitcoins into the market at that present time. And that caused for the Bitcoin price to shoot down from 9K to 7K, or approaching 6.5K. That was a monstrous effect, and it may not have even been happening, but the news story was circulating. And it's merely the news story in itself that can have an impact. But I personally believe that what I have been led to believe anyway is that around about 30,000 Bitcoins is going to be made available for selling at that present time. All right. So 30,000 Bitcoins, I think, has the potential to cause a mild drop in price. Not a significant drop in price, but a mild drop in price. And I think that it is potentially one of the news stories that could have an impact on a September drop. But do I think that is going to lead to the all-time lows? Only in conjunction with a September drop, if a September drop is caused by other events. Okay, which I think is very likely. On the 13th, we're going to be having the CPI figures released. So it is very likely to cause a temporary bottoming event. Whether that goes below 17.5, I don't know. It's very, very likely. But ultimately, I think that the biggest impact is going to be happening circa quarter one, 2023. But I do think that it is going to have an impact. Think about it. You've got Bitcoin investors. Now, a lot of the people who bought Bitcoin on Mt. Gox subsequently sold off their Bitcoin in exchange for, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was stables or something at the time, to actual institutional investors. So there's not going to be a load of retail investors that are going to be unlocking it. However, whoever holds this Mt. Gox Bitcoin, I think that you've got to look at the wider picture for Bitcoin. The prognosis is not looking good for quarter one, 2023. So as a result of that, I would sell. You know, people are saying, oh, why bother selling when you're probably holding on to something that could be a $1,000 value asset in the future. Yeah, that is in the future, but that's a long way in the future. In the meantime, there's going to be opportunities. You can get 2 Bitcoins for every 1 Bitcoin that you sell with that Mt. Gox Bitcoin. So I personally think it is going to have an impact ultimately. So if I had 8 years, if I had to wait 8 years for money that I thought I'd lost, I would want to sell it straight away, personally speaking. I'd want to sell it straight away. I had another super chat, which I think that here we go. We've got a couple of others. So Carlos Valencia. Valencia. Thoughts on liquidity? Not a lot. Also, I follow Crypto Savvy. He called these prices months ago. Also, according to him, we are going to see $7,200 Bitcoin. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. You know, we are only seeing fears of a recession reflected in the prices right now. We are not in any way baking in the price of a recession into the Bitcoin price right now. Not at all. Not even close. And I think that once the recession actually hits the global economy, then we are going to be seeing a catastrophic fall in Bitcoin. I would not surprise if it wicks down to 7,000 for a day. I would not be surprised at all. But do I see it staying there for a while? I don't, because I see a lot of bottom buyers, and they will snatch it faster than you can breathe. I'll look at liquidity after though. Tommy Villes. It's the stud man. Any easy 10x's in this market you'd recommend for a small fry? No, I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, they're a degen plays, but I'm not getting involved in that. You know, if you want to make 10x's in this current market, like if you want to make 10x's in the short term, then follow degen influencers. You know, ones that, like for instance, the ones behind the Doge chain, small coins. You know, but you're not going to get me doing that. I'm not going to be doing that simply because of the fact it's just too high risk. And there's too many people that follow me. I do not want them getting burnt. So I will not put people at that risk. Okay, but there are lots of degen influencers out there that look at dirty plays on Pink Sale, on Doge Chain, you know, coins that really have no fundamental strength at all, but for the bored degens they just ape into. And they've got communities that support their buys. So I'm not one of them, so I would never do that. Thoughts on Bitcoin going to 40k before going to 11k? I don't think it will go to 40k. No, I don't think so. I would be very, very surprised if we got anywhere near that. Sorry, I meant buying in this market for the next market. Okay, Tommy, well, now we're talking. That is where this list comes into play. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you where do I see prices going come Q1 2023 versus the high of the next bull run. Okay, now I think there is potential that once we've hit a low, we will have a recovery and then we will have a bull market for a while. I don't think that because we have not followed the traditional crypto market cycle, we never hit the euphoria stage. We haven't followed it for the first time ever because it was macro focused. I think that for the first time ever, actually crypto is going to almost to and fro with the stock market. So I think that we will ebb and flow with the stock market and we will not necessarily have crypto specific bull and bear markets, and we will actually just rise with the stock market, because I think that come the macro environment, I think that things priced in the dollar, when the dollar has been showing strength, the stocks and cryptos have gone down. When the dollar weakens, which it will do once we come out of this recession, once we get back into economic recovery, then I think that crypto market is going to follow the stock market and we're going to be in a potential mega cycle, the mega cycle we didn't get last time. That mega cycle was potentially cut short because of the stock market. So what I'm going to say here is I'm going to be showing you the price I think we are going to hit. We're probably going to hit lower, but I'm going to be conservative. And the price that we're going to hit at the peak of the next bull market and what that gain actually means if you were to invest, if you were to buy and to sell at these particular prices. So in at number 5, we have got FTX. Now, FTX I see as very similar to the Binance coin, which is central to the Binance exchange ecosystem. It's not only very, very relative to the Binance exchange, but also to Binance Smart Chain. And being, you know, the gas token, being the utility token for Binance Smart Chain. So FTX really has started becoming a mega behemoth in this market. You know, now, FTX at this present time is about $27. So this would see us being a third of that price. Now, it's very likely we could be seeing lower. But to be on the conservative side, I would start DCAing at $9 for FTX. Now, FTX is a deflationary cryptocurrency. It's an uncapped... Actually, I think it's got a fixed supply. So FTX has got a fixed supply. However, it has very, very similar to what we've got with Binance. So it's got buy and burn, it's deflationary. So we will never likely get even close. So although we're about 30% of FTX's issuance, it's very, very unlikely that we're going to ever get to the max supply for FTX. It's likely to be very deflationary. It's only going from strength to strength. I'm hoping that there will be more and more FUD, like the cease and desist that came for FTX, because Sam Bankman-Fried is essentially becoming a behemoth, just like CZ became in the last bear market. You know, from 2018 through to today's market, CZ is now one of the kings of cryptocurrency, and Sam Bankman-Fried has also started. Okay, so I think it's the Bahamas. You know, Sam Bankman-Fried has caused for property prices in the Bahamas to go up because he has moved to the Bahamas. So that goes to show the level of celebrity that he is achieving. And I think that he is actually going to be one of the key players in cryptocurrency, as big, nearly as big, or striving to be as big as CZ. And he is going to take FTX with him. So I foresee that FTX is going to have a very similar trajectory to what Binance had last bull run. Okay, so Binance, I remember, obviously I bought it at 72 cents back in 2017. But if we go back to the bear market of around about 2018, 2019, then I remember Binance being around about $10, $9 to $10. And from there, it then subsequently went at the peak of the next bull market it was to experience. It went from $10 to $700. Now, I'm going to be on the conservative side and say that FTX is going to go from $10 to $400, which is around about where Binance sits right now. Okay, so that would be a 45x. If FTX was to go to half the price, and then that would mean a potential 100x. If FTX was to go to where Binance achieved its all-time high, that would be around about 100x. So ultimately, FTX, I think, is a very solid play. And I think this is a very easy trajectory for a no-risk cryptocurrency like FTX. So a 45x for FTX. And FTX, I think, is going to be one of the big... is going to be up there with Binance. And it's going to be up there as a brand. Next up, we have got BNB. I can't go without saying BNB. So BNB at this present time, it did get up to around about $330 in the latest rise. It has the potential to do better than that in the midterm, but I think that when it comes to the big crash that's likely to descend on the cryptocurrency market next year, then I think BNB is going to be slaughtered. I think it could go down to $70, best case scenario, but I would say on the conservative side, $150 would be an excellent price for BNB, because its trajectory from $10 to $700, I think being a deflationary cryptocurrency, which I think makes it an asset people are going to pivot into as a result of the incredible amounts of inflation and what the retail market has seen the governments do all around the world, which is essentially inflate currencies, print at a megarific rate, print like money is going out of fashion and causing this huge inflation all across the globe, then I think people are really going to pivot to deflationary currencies. And as a result of that, BNB, I think, has the potential to move into the next league, to once again keep on improving. Like with Bitcoin halves every 4 years. As a result, it has a supply shock versus a demand increase, therefore meaning the price just keeps going up. So I wouldn't be surprised at all for Bitcoin to hit $1 million come the next decade. As a result of that, BNB, I think, is going to hit new highs. It could have gone up to $1,000, if not $1,500 at the peak of the bull run. Would it have continued? Now, I personally think that BNB is going to move on another echelon because of its deflationary elements. It's recently become deflationary. And that supply shock, in conjunction with the increased utility of Binance Smart Chain, the increased utility of Binance as a retail exchange, as more people flock to cryptocurrency. Don't forget that cryptocurrency still has about a 1 to 3% worldwide penetration, when we see equivalent to the internet, where that had 35% penetration come the early 2000s, when we achieve that level of adoption, Binance is going to really step up. And as a result of that, I would not be surprised at all for Binance to start reflecting Ethereum's price. Ethereum is going to start reflecting Bitcoin, and Binance is going to start reflecting Ethereum. And you're going to see this kind of reflection. You're going to see certain assets start to mimic assets from previous bull cycles. Okay, so you're going to see Solana start mimicking Ethereum as well. So Binance, I reckon, is going to deliver at least a 53x. Obviously, if you dollar cost average from 150 and go down, and it does go to, towards more $100, then you are looking at a potential 80x as a result. In at number 3, we have got Polkadot. Now, Polkadot is actually the second most utilized blockchain and cryptocurrency, or second most utilized infrastructure. There is the second most amount of development and activity happening to Ethereum. Ethereum is leaps and bounds ahead of everything else except for Polkadot. I'm going to show you a table. I'm going to show you a graph very, very shortly that shows you just how close Polkadot is to developer activity as Ethereum. And Ethereum is easily the most utilized blockchain, where most of the activity is happening, where most of the dApps are being created, and Polkadot is just behind it. And I think this is going to have fantastic implications for Moonbeam as well. But Polkadot is definitely going to be the more blue chip, the more elite cryptocurrency in that equation. Now, Polkadot has gone down to, I think, just under $7. I think that there is easy potential for this to go down to 250 and go roundabout to where it was, just before the bull cycle happened in 2021. It was around about $3. It was there for a while. That was when I bought Polkadot. Now, Polkadot, I think, is going to go down potentially to 250. Think about it. It wasn't long ago that it was at $40. Right? It wasn't long ago. It was at $17. And even then, that looked like a fantastic buy. And it's gone to over half of that now. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if, when we see the peak of the fear, the peak of the worst, that this goes down to 250. Now, I personally thought that Polkadot should easily have achieved $150 in the last bull run, simply because of the crowd loans, where you lock up Polkadot, essentially taking it out of supply, therefore allowing for supply to overtake, for demand to overtake supply. That didn't happen, and as a result of that, actually, because Polkadot really did their crowd loans at the wrong time. So as a result, I think that Polkadot has yet to actually experience a megarific bull cycle. It's not really done the most bullish activity at the most bullish time. It didn't do what Kusama did. Kusama did its crowd loans literally in DeFi spring last year and shot up to like $500. Now, Polkadot should have done theoretically the same thing, but the timing was off. Now, why I don't think Polkadot, because Polkadot, in my opinion, should go to around about $300, $400 based on current supply levels. However, Polkadot has a 10% inflation and an uncapped supply. And this is what I think will slightly devalue it. So I think this is going to lead to 150 as a market top. That would still represent a 60x gain should you get this at the best price. But Polkadot is a sleeping giant. It's a dinosaur just waiting to be poked, come to life, and essentially really advance on you and potentially just take your head off, right? That's what I think Polkadot is capable of, and it hasn't yet had that opportunity. But people have really woken up to Polkadot, and it's really becoming a utilized infrastructure. In at number two, we have got Decentraland. Now, Decentraland, I think, is a mega metaverse play. Metaverse, I think, is going to be one of the solid trends for the future. It's not going anywhere, and what we're seeing is essentially the building out of the metaverse in cryptocurrency land. Now, why I choose Decentraland over the Sandbox, and Sandbox is really an elite's favorite. The reason why is because of the tokenomics, okay? So Decentraland, by governance, has been essentially made a deflationary cryptocurrency. They have no inflation, there's no more to be there's no more to go into creation, and you get rid of mana when you are minting NFTs. So you are seeing mana going out of circulation, therefore making a deflationary cryptocurrency. A decentralized metaverse that's deflationary is mega bullish. Okay, and I think this makes it more bullish than the Sandbox, because Sandbox is inflationary and the Decentraland is the opposite to that, and it's literally the competing project to Sandbox. So Decentraland was on its trajectory towards $10. It got cut short because of the bear market, but it had a one month growth, and now has become the Bitcoin of the cryptocurrency of the metaverse market. So this is a key player. This is where money goes flowing. This is where the money flow goes to. This is where institutional money will be going for the metaverse play in conjunction with Sandbox. But the tokenomics makes Decentraland more likely to appreciate higher and go up in value faster than the Sandbox. So as a result of that, I would not be surprised. Decentraland is currently, in the 80s right now. I think 40 cents is conservative. I think this could go to 25 to 30 cents. It could even go below that. I'm going to start dollar cost averaging from 40 cents. And I will hold this till $25. Should we have a mega metaverse play? And Vitalik said it himself. He thinks the future of metaverse lies in decentralization. It doesn't lie in centralized entities like Meta or Facebook that essentially dictate where they imagine the metaverse going. Because if it's a meta-dictated metaverse, then people may not be so open to it. But in a decentralized world, a governance-ran ecosystem like Decentraland, the community vote on the world that gets built, and the amount of blue chip cryptocurrencies that have bought land in Decentraland, this goes to show this is going to be premium real estate. This is going to be like buying in New York. Premium crypto real estate. Okay, a lot of the metaverses that were minor altcoins, they're going to be like buying in, I don't know. I'm not going to put down any country, but I'm just going to say it's going to be very low demand real estate, where probably like Spain. Okay, in the south of Spain, property prices don't really move because there's so much supply. Okay, it's going to be relative to the more minor metaverse ecosystems out there. But Decentraland is going to be like buying in London, buying in Monaco, buying in New York. It's going to be premium real estate. It's going to get more expensive. As it gets more expensive, more Decentraland gets taken out of circulation and therefore making it appreciate higher. So I think the future of metaverse lies in Decentraland, and as a result of that, Decentraland could deliver a 62.5x gain. All right, so I'm really going to go heavy on Decentraland. I'm really bullish on Decentraland. It's a deflationary currency. It's a deflationary asset, and I think the retail are going to want to go into assets that do the exact opposite of fiat currencies when they make the pivot into cryptocurrency. And Decentraland is going to be one of those premium metaverse plays for that exact strategy. Now, in at number one, this one's going to surprise you, but it shouldn't surprise you. This was the cryptocurrency I brought up in my last video, and that is Cronos. Now, Cronos is a $1 cryptocurrency at the peak of the last bull market. Now, Cronos really achieved that, I would say, on half of the basis of what makes it really, really bullish today. So come the end of the last bull market was when the Cronos chain actually came into existence. Before that, really, it was a payment ecosystem, a payments infrastructure where you could do crypto to fiat payments, essentially using your crypto to buy stuff. Since then, it has become a mega brand that's getting out there, one of the mega brands of cryptocurrency. Had a big Super Bowl ad. They're sponsoring all of the main sporting events. They're sponsoring NFL. They're sponsoring Formula One. They're sponsoring the World Cup. They're getting their name out there. They're penetrating the UK. They're going to penetrate more regions. They're going to penetrate more of the world across the course of time. And that's just as a payments ecosystem. Cronos chain itself is going to develop its own ecosystem in terms of dApps being created. So this is going to compete with other layer 1 blockchains. It's going to have a launchpad. It's going to have DeFi. It's going to have NFTs. It's going to have everything. And at this present time, all you've really got on Cronos chain is meme coins. But it's really just beginning its ecosystem growth. Thirdly, it's also an exchange. So if you are looking to buy coins, you can buy it on the crypto.com exchange, essentially. So it has got a multifaceted, it's got the ultimate multi-narrative play, which is Cronos chain. In addition to payments, and payments is going to be a big thing in cryptocurrency over the course of time as there's more adoption, and that adoption is increasing. Look, BlackRock have gotten into crypto, they've gotten into Bitcoin, PayPal have, JP Morgan have. There's going to be more institutional adoption. Tesla have. And as a result of that, they are going to be looking for more gateways to convert crypto into fiat. And Cronos sits as the head of one of them. So not only has it got a multi-narrative play in the Cronos chain, but also in the payments and being a mega brand of payments, of crypto payments. And it's only going to increase its banking services worldwide. So you're going to have multiple competitors. Castor's another one. Binance is another one. There's loads of them. And at this present time, Cronos has received so much FUD. There's loads of people that are bad-mouthing it. Philicone has bad-mouthed it. Other influencers have bad-mouthed it that have said, you know, the cashback rules, the rules that you used to have are rubbish now. And this is a really good time to allow for Cronos to drop in value. Because when they make better deals for those who are hodlers of Cronos, have a Cronos debit card, etc., then it's going to shoot up. So at this present time, while it seems broken, is the time that's probably best to invest in it. And if this goes even, this will only have to 2.5x its all-time high for this to make a 71x. Okay, so I think 250 is potentially on the conservative side. If you held this for more than one cycle, you would only see this growing. And the reason why is because Cronos is also very low inflation with a fixed supply. So Cronos with a fixed supply means that eventually you are going to run out of tokens to go into circulation. And at this present time, only 2% of coins on a yearly basis are put into circulation, and they burnt 70% of the tokens that they had, thus making this a very good asset from a tokenomics perspective. So tokenomics meeting with multi-narrative means that this could be a powerhouse that everybody's ignoring right now. I've never been a massive Cronos fan until now, okay, because it just seems like the metrics work. So there we are, people. That is my part 1 of DCA prices. Who wants to see part 2? If you want to see part 2, make sure you smash a like right now. So let us have a look and see what we have got in terms of likeage. So how many likes have we got into Else? We have got 237 and we've got 700 people. 700 people. This is the most I've seen in yonks. This is the most I have seen in probably ever on this channel. So if we could commemorate that by smashing that like button, you know what to do. Just smash it and watch it animate in front of you. And now you can ask me questions. Let's have a look. So let's get out of this. And tell me, what is your favorite, people? What is your favorite cryptocurrency? Not only out of this, but what is your favorite currency to invest in? And I will look into potentially if it sounds good. Cronos is at 12 cents. What's he talking about? Right, I'm talking about the price it's going to get to. Okay, so, you know, just be patient, essentially. Is there any update on Unmarshall? No, don't care either. Unmarshall's a pile of shit. Right, I've had some super chats, so let me just scroll up somewhat and let me have a look and see what you guys have been saying. Super chats get a guaranteed response, just so you know. So the next super chat Julian Tapia. Hi, Suppo. Thanks for all you do. I truly appreciate it. Question. Do you still stand by 130k return for every $1,000 invested? Yeah, I do. I really do. And I personally think that that is easily achievable if you're willing to wait for all-time best prices. No, none of us really truly know it's going to be achieved, but I think that all you have to do is wait, because all you're seeing is an eroding of a buying atmosphere. You're seeing the eroding of speculation. You only have to look and see how Satoshi Island did, which was Tencent's latest offering out to the world. Now, every other cryptocurrency that Tencent has brought out has over 100x by a mile. You know, Fame 300x, Everdome, I don't know what that did. That was what? That was massive. That was over 100x. So, previously, their cryptocurrencies have done really well, and Satoshi Island, I think, did a mere 20x. And that is purely a sign of the times. Like, the speculation and bullishness is being eroded as the economic environment is worsening. So all that leads to is a bottoming of prices, and we are not there yet. And I don't think we're going to be there for a few months. Okay. So I do think that you're going to be able to make ginormous returns for every $1,000 invested. And that is definitely my plan. Are you bullish on BNB and ADA? Yes, I am. So this is my investment of a lifetime list. I kind of condensed it into 5, but these are, in my opinion, amongst the best. Probably the worst in this list is Gala, because of the tokenomics. The rest of these are powerful from a tokenomics perspective. So obviously Ethereum's going to be going through a triple halving soon. BNB is deflationary. Cardano is going to be deflationary. Polkadot is inflationary, but at the same time highly utilized. So look, this is monthly developers. This is Ethereum. Ethereum's by far and away the market leader in terms of development going on a blockchain. But here we go. Here's Polkadot. Literally just behind it. Look, just behind it. Monthly developers, 1,600. And then 1,400 for Polkadot. Polkadot is making leaps and bounds. Look at it. Its growth is huge. Okay, Binance Smart Chain all the way over here. Avalanche, Nia, Solana, not even holding a torch to Polkadot. So that shows you that Polkadot is a very strong ecosystem. The only thing that is slowing Polkadot's growth is the inflation and the uncapped supply. There's going to be more Polkadot in circulation. But what can counteract that is utility and dApps. And that is why I think Polkadot goes on this list. FTX I've just spoken about, Cronos, Decentraland the same. Sandbox is also very strong. It's got an incredible money flow. $250 million. Despite the economic environment, it's got just shed loads of investment currently. So anyway, what about Dex's Cake and Astro? Yes. So look, let me have a look on my deflationary low inflation cryptocurrency. So PancakeSwap is actually on there, and that is because it mimics Binance coin in the sense that it is relatively deflationary in nature. So as a result of that, Cake, yeah, it's pretty good, but it's a singular use narrative. Dex's, it's really just DeFi. Okay, it's not multi-narrative. Okay, so as a result of that, PancakeSwap really gives increased utility of Binance and Binance Smart Chain and BNB token, but Cake in itself, it's not. I'm not mega bullish on it. Okay, I would understand if you are. I'm not mega bullish on it. So as a result of that, yeah, I mean, Cake's pretty good. AstroSwap, no. Being realistic, it has an okay chance, but it's high risk. High risk. I would say probably SundaySwap was more likely to do better. Please check Strike X as well. I've looked at it and it's shit. Delulu, I think it was you actually that told me to have a look at it. Look, I don't want to invest in risk. Bear market is not when you invest in risk. A bull market is. So once we're in the swing of it, once Bitcoin's going towards new all-time highs, or when it's exceeded its old all-time high of 70k, and we are seeing cash injections by the bucket load, no conscience at all, people are just investing in any shit, right? Then probably something like StrikeX could do well. But in this market, no one's going to give a fuck about a small entity with absolutely no backing. So, but I hope that just shows you that I am honest to my word, Delulu. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. R&G Crypto. Have you had a chance to look at Gala Film? I haven't actually looked at Gala Film, though I have noticed people have been talking about the film nodes and music nodes, I think, as well. But no, I've not really looked into it, if I'm honest with you. It's probably something I will look into later. But ultimately, I think Gala is a very strong metaverse or gaming play, or what's the word? Play to earn play. Is Ivan on from or A? Is Ivan on tech a wanker? Okay, bear with me a second. Okay, so let me just have a look on. No, there's me, Ivan on tech. Let's have a look at Ivan on tech. Let's have a look at his look. Ethereum going to $10,000 in Q1 2024. It's fucking ridiculous video. All right, you only have to look at that thumbnail to answer your question. Yes, basically. And then this one, Ivan to 20,000. Nothing annoys me more than hopium YouTubers. Nothing annoys me more than seeing a YouTuber with very low awareness of the macro environment. Like, it just pisses me off that so many people follow someone like that, as gives them the potential to get megarifically burnt. No, there's me. So to answer your question, YES. How do you feel about Blue Zilla sir? Right, so I've answered this ad nauseum, but I'll answer it again. Blue Zilla pads are not going to do well in this market. Okay, so just get out of your head that you're going to make a massive return on your investment investing now. Okay, because you're not. All right, speculation have gone down. New projects, no one cares about them right now, and that's all there is to say. So I'm still holding them because there's no point in selling them now, is there? I was selling them into the bullishness, but once that bullishness got lost, I'm just holding on to them until later. So, so I'm just going to hold on to them. They're the keys into the kingdom, ultimately. But I'm not bullish on them now. And I think you'd have to be, a special kind of moron to be bullish on them now. Cornucopious. Metaverse game will be epic. Look, there's just no point. In my personal opinion, there is no point in speculating on shit assets in this market. So let's have a look at Cornucopious. 57,000 volume. I mean, that's a fucking disgrace. All right, that's a disgrace. Why are you saying it's going to be epic? How can that be epic? 56k is so pathetic. And look, it's right. Let me just show you in simple terms. Divided by 57,000. 147-to-1 ratio. There is zero bullishness into this. Zero relevance. No one cares about it. It's a pile of shit. Right, so there we are. Sorry, Adam Nash. Personal opinion. Yeah, it could probably do well, but it's a risky play. I would never put my money in something shit like that. XRP, XLM, IOTA, HBAR, VChain, XDC, any bank coins. Look, XRP is apparently deflationary. It's not in the ethos of cryptocurrency at all. It's very centralized. It hardly moves. There are much better plays. Yeah, it could take off if they win their SEC. It will take off if they win their SEC. But everything's going to take off eventually. And XRP, I think, has, I think it just has diminishing returns from its current price point. IOTA, no one cares about anymore. HBAR still has relevance. It's DAG infrastructure. It's got, some very good adoption from big business. VeChain, supply chain is only going to get more important, I think, as a result of this pandemic stroke economic situation. It's the slowdown in China's supply chain has been one of the reasons why the economy's in shit right now, and bad management of supply chain. And VeChain is essentially a blockchain infrastructure solution to it. And it's a trend for the future. So that'll do well. XDC, I don't really know. But some of those that you mentioned, Francisco, are also this ISO standard. 9001, I can't remember what it is, but it's an ISO standard coming into cryptocurrency that I think is going to be a very investable feature of certain coins. Love your insights. Thoughts on XCAD? So XCAD, I have always been on the fence as far as investing is concerned. I would love for this to go to around about 30 cents. I would buy this up for that. Simply because it's got a lot of big YouTubers that are, potentially behind this, probably going to be utilizing it. I think this has got future utility, and it's not lost a lot of demand. It's okay. It's okay. So I like XCAD. One of the few that I do like. DeSo I don't know. But it's got a good ticker. Decentralized social blockchain. Deso.org. 200 dApps built on Deso. There's stronger plays in my opinion. Stronger plays. I think if decentralized social, if Deso becomes a mega trend, which it has the likelihood to, because let's look at Metaverse. That has really benefited from a decentralized economy, a governance-led economy, and decentralized social media is going to be another one that has that potential. Where it's part of the Web3 future of having decentralized platforms that don't rely on your data being shared, right? So this could really go up. This could be a very good play for preparation for a DeSo play. But I wouldn't invest in this until much later, until you could get this at a much better price, because this is going to get slaughtered. There's no current decentralized social trend right now, and it's going to get slaughtered. So thank you for the question, Imran, and for the contribution. Anna Zeal, do you have a question, Anna Zeal? Thank you very much for the 400 rupees, I want to say that is. And there is a potential for my chat to miss super chat. So let me just make sure I'm up to date. Yes, it's important I get up to date for you guys. Sadok Ben Ali, thank you very much for the €5. I appreciate that a lot. More super chats. Right, here we go. There's quite a few. Shit, there's loads of super chats. Okay, bear with me. Christopher Forland, best launch pads for next bull. I would say DAO Maker, Seedify, Polkadot. They're good ones. Meta VPad, Game Zone potentially, but they are more high risk. But DAO Maker and Seedify are definitely the elites when it comes to launch pads. That's what I would recommend. And Seedify would be a very good investment if you can get it low enough. Let's have a look and see Seedify right now. Look at the price. You'd want it to be well under $1. What the fuck? Damn beach. What the fuck? Right, so where did this get to? Oh, 98 cents. Around about the bottoming event. And it's 2x since then. I would wait for this to go down to about 50 cents. Which it will. It's going to absolutely... the macro environment's going to absolutely rinse any speculation for new stuff. So this is going to go down like shit out of a shovel. If that expression has any weight. Delulu, what about SHIB? What price average, and what return are you looking at? Can you talk a bit about it? Do you see 1 cent? Where do you see it go? Southampton. Southampton, not very far from me. So, Shiba Inu, I really love as an ecosystem. This will do well. This will do really well in a bull market. This will go up megarifically in a bull market. I would look at another 0 and 5 is what I would see as the absolute lowest. Okay, may go down lower, I don't know, but there's a big whale. There's obviously a big whale conglomerate loving Shiba Inu for the future. And of course, as an ecosystem, they're going to be burning tokens, so it's going to be deflationary over the course of time. And I do foresee 1 cent one day. I know that that's a banal statement to make, but I really do see 1 cent one day for Shiba Inu, yes. And I am most definitely going to be hodling until that day happens. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, so there's really... Yeah, I think that Shiba's going to be around for a long, long time. It's the Ethereum of meme coins. And it's going to be deflationary, whereas Doge isn't. Will ETH pump a little before merge? I think there's potential for that to happen. There is potential for that to happen. But I think also at the same time, it did get overheated in the run-up to September anyway. So yes, I think it will pump a little. But I do see also a Ethereum miner capitulation as well. If I might cheek an additional question, have you a video explaining DCA technique? I don't have a video on here. I probably do have on my Udemy course. But, you know, it's very much a subjective thing, DCA. You know, let's say, for instance, you've got 100, let's say 10K. All right, let's say you've got 10K to invest. I would split up that 10K into 5 chunks and choose 5 buy prices. One as a highest DCA price that you think, okay, it's not that I don't think this is going to be the low, but I want a slice of the pie anyway. So this is an area I have already started in. I got into that around the 16th of July. It was around about 13th of July I started DCAing. So I put probably a tenth of what I plan to put in over the long term. But split it into 5. High to the best case scenario. And then over the course of time, so let's just use as, for example, Ethereum. All right, so at 1600, start DCAing. Like 1600 or 1550 DCA, put 2000 in. If it goes down to 1200, another 2000 in. 1000, another 2000 in. 800, another 2000 in. And then for a best case scenario, like 500, 600, another 2000. And that brings your overall price to 1000. Okay, so that means that you haven't bought all at 1500. It means you still have exposure. Should it go down to 1500, go up to 2500, you've got that bit of exposure to sell off come, you know, the Ethereum merge. And in preparation to the Ethereum merge, to sell the news, but you've not got overexposure to it, so that you can buy later on down the line when the shit really hits the fan. You know, you've got the Chinese economy dying, you've got inflation globally growing, you've got China and Taiwan heating up. You know, all those 3 things coming in conjunction could mean the absolute best time to do your last dollar cost average buy. That is how I would explain dollar cost averaging. Surprised Chainlink didn't make the list. It's the top oracle. Yes, but at the same time, Chainlink is very, very limited in its overall vision. Okay, so what I like about Chainlink is, if you don't know what Chainlink is essentially getting information from apps off-chain and putting it onto a dApp on-chain. So let's say you've created a dApp for Ethereum, a pricing app, or something like that. And you want to get the current prices of the Bitcoin crypto market on that dApp, you essentially have Chainlink acting as an intermediary, as a data feed from CoinMarketCap. So CoinMarketCap has an API. It has essentially a way in which you can tap into it to feed data into your own app, and that's what Chainlink is. It's the middleman, and it is essentially ring-fence the entire industry by being the data feed of choice, the oracle of choice. But it's very limited in its vision. Like, it's not a layer one. Really, the reason for its growth so early on, and one of the reasons why I jumped into it, is because the market makers behind it, I knew them, and they were optimizing the hype coming out of Russia, because this is essentially a Russian coin. You know, Sergey, who's the founder of the Chainlink, you know, it's very much a Russian community loved coin. And the market makers capitalized on that demand and were able to make it go up to $40. And so so back then, you know, Chainlink had very much a price discovery period. Now most people know what it is. It's kind of not priced in, but people kind of know what it is. Doesn't necessarily have that explosiveness in the future. That's why I'm not massively into it. Staking is coming soon, and yes, that is a good thing, but then also at the same time not a good thing, because that launches more into supply. R&G Crypto, thanks for your answer. What's your take on Pulse Chain and PulseX? Well, yes, I mean, these crypto, Pulse Chain and PulseX, mainly Pulse Chain, not so much PulseX, but Pulse Chain is very much going to be deflationary as a result of PulseX, and as a result of that, that very much comes into my deflationary plays. You know, it's going to essentially start off completely minted and then deflate over time, therefore leading to appreciation of price. And of course, it's got Richard Hart as a marketing machine behind it. Like, he helped Hex. You know, once Pulse Chain comes out to the market, he's going to ditch Hex probably, and he's going to be all in on a Pulse Chain, and Pulse Chain's going to do really well. So I don't think 1000x is really very likely for a while. Of course, Richard Hart could do some trickery. Who knows, you know? But the reason why Hex did so well is because it was a super low market cap to start with. There was not much in circulation. Richard Hart obviously had a lot in a wallet that closed up, not in circulation. And as a result of that, it was able to appreciate huge. Plus, they had the added utility of being able to get into Pulse Chain and PulseX, and that's what led to the all-time highs. Pulse Chain would essentially need mega burning to reach 1000x. So it depends, really. It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say, but I don't see 1000x happening. I don't see 1000x happening for a while. But 100x I can foresee. 8Gear47, thanks Suppo for the great insight. I have a friend who's so bullish on two protocols, Metis and Manifold Finance. What do you think, bro? Metis I really like. Metis has Vitalik's mum as part of the research team. And as a result of that, a direct link to Vitalik is a scaling solution for Ethereum. It's one I brought you that appreciated very hard. Like, I brought you at $28. It went up to $300 or so. It's very, very strong for the future. But you've also got to... Metis at the time existed when there were few layer 2s around. You know, Polygon. That's it, really. Seller. And you know, Metis kind of came at a perfect time. But now with Optimism... And there are more layer 1s coming to the market, like Sui, like Aptos. You know, how much are people going to really love Metis? Obviously, we've got Ethereum scaling up when it releases sharding. So how much is Metis really going to... They're obviously developing an ecosystem, but how much are people going to care about that? Manifold Finance, it looks like it's DeFi. Oh, hold on. Ethereum 2. It is DeFi, yeah. I don't really understand it. It looks like it's quite related to Ethereum mining. Or Ethereum staking, anyway. Yeah, I don't know much about it. How long has it been out? It's obviously gone up quite a lot. It's been out over a year. 7x. And currently it's roughly at the top of that. I don't know. Difficult to say, but I certainly wouldn't get into a cryptocurrency that was close to its high. That just sounds really counterintuitive. So the opportunity looks like it's already been kind of utilized, so I'm not really interested in that. ISO... Oops. Yeah, it is that one. So like I said, those cryptocurrencies that you spoke about makes it central bank friendly, which makes it investable. You know, makes it kind of have the same kind of properties that Ripple had or XRP had before massive adoption in early 2017. And it's something that adds value to a crypto, having that ISO standard. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. I think that's it. Have I gotten through all the super chats? No, I haven't. Okay, so bear with me a second. Let me... Oh, Jesus. There's loads. Right, okay. So first of all, Stefan Mallet Productions. What do you think about Leash? Where can we buy it? So Leash, I think you can buy on Shiba Swap. Leash is I can't remember really the utility of it. I remember you could use Leash to buy NFTs recently. I can't really remember the utility of Leash. But it's one of the 3 coins in Shiba's ecosystem, and obviously the next one's Bone, and this was roughly 1-to-1 with Ethereum at one point back in summer last year. Would I invest in it? Probably not. Shiba, Bone is the central crypto to Shiba Swap, so that's got utility, and obviously Shiba is the main meme coin that is kind of responsible for the entire Shiba ecosystem, so in which case Shiba's good. Leash, I don't really know. This is kind of like a secondary, stab at investing in Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu's multi-billions, and this is only 53 million, so it's kind of like getting into something quite small. AK, don't forget my question, Suppo. I think I answered it above, so I hope that was the one you had. Adnan Javid, thank you very much for the 9 quid. Do you have a question? Is the question, Adnan. Let me just have a look, make sure you didn't put it separate to the super chat. I can't find it if so. But thank you very much for the £9. I love it. Anna Zeal. Hey Suppo, thoughts on metaverse.ai? Looks like a solid team to me. Okay, so it's not on there. This one? No. Yeah, I'm not so keen on looking at something on my computer. So let me have a look on here. Metaverse.ai. There isn't a metaverse.ai. There isn't a metaverse.ai. Yeah, there isn't a metaverse. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there is a metaverse.ai. So, but if I'm honest with you, it's probably shit. Being honest, 95% of what's out there is shit. What do you think about Convergence? Will it survive and hit 70 cents? Doubt it. Is that it? Is that it for super chats? I think I've gotten through them all. But let me just have a final look. Yes, I think I've gotten through them all. So Suppo, I can't afford a tip, but Syscoin's been around a while. It's got masternodes to my understanding. It's got quite a solid community. Do I think it's brilliant? No, not really. 100-to-1 ratio, pretty shit if I'm honest with you. But it'll probably do okay, just simply because it's been around for a long time and has a community. It's established, so it probably could do well. Right, okay. So I think that is it. Suppo, check Veta. I've seen that my American equivalent has spoken about Veta quite a few times. My American equivalent being Joe Parry's, obviously. Skylabs, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm not really into launch pads, which is what I think this is. So what is the point? Right, that's it, I think. So, thanks again for the wisdom, Suppo, from VinDXB. I appreciate that. Okay, let me come off this, because I don't want to give any rise to... Yeah. Anyway, so essentially, we're in a position now where the market is in quite an unpredictable state, merely because of the fact that crypto has gone down so much. And look, you can see that Bitcoin once again looks like it's trying to go down to that magnet. So I would say that 20,700 is really acting like a magnet right now, and Bitcoin just doesn't seem to be able to come out of that. And I do think that the market does need a little bit of a rise before September falls. If it doesn't, then I think it could go down anyway, and could present some really good DCA opportunities. But I would say that from a technical standpoint, the market won't be happy with it. It's quite odd. But bear with me. I think a super chat just came in, so let me just see if that's a quick one. MetaverseAI.org. Right, okay. MetaverseAI.org. AI-powered virtual homes. Apparently, team background: Google, Stanford, Facebook, etc. Animoca brands near as apparently partners or investors. Draper Dragon. I don't know. I mean, it looks virtual human. It looks like it could be relatively promising. You know, the whole idea of recreating yourself in the metaverse, something MetaHero's done, sounds like bullish, but the website looks like dog shit, so I can't really tell if it's any good. Yeah, it looks okay. Ribbon Finance, I'm not going to look at any more. I'm not going to look at any more in detail. Let me just have a quick look at Ribbon Finance. Sustainable yield, yada, 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 bullshit. Loads of these about. So anyway, so I personally foresee that we have got the main period of bearishness to look forward to, and that is going to be Q1 2023. And that is when I'm going to be eyeing up the absolute best times to buy cryptocurrencies. It's a slow burner, and should there be other opportunities that happen at some point in the near future, I will let you know. Doge Chain was very much an opportunity that happened recently. Degen plays. I prefer to get in something a little bit more elite, but if I'm honest with you, really right now is a game of patience. You know, waiting for the best times to get in, not rushing, and just waiting, seeing how the market plays out, being able to buy some incredibly elite cryptocurrencies at much better prices than what exists today, and being able to carve out a fortune for yourself. That's what... Look at Carl the Moon. Like, Carl the Moon essentially invested in Ethereum around about $100. Now, yes, he made a shitload of money with Bybit. That can't be denied, and probably the majority came from Bybit. But I will say that investing at $100, riding it, is what has made the mountain of money that he sits on today. And I think that you just got to wait for those similar opportunities. Ethereum going from 100 to near $5,000 is going to be a very similar pattern to what's going to be able to be achieved in waiting for the all-time best prices, buying at lows, waiting for the next highs, and we could be in quite an elongated next bull market. Anyway, people, I love you lots. I love you for being here. We have had the biggest audience we have had in Yonkadoodles. So I thank you for being part of it. I love you. And let me know if you want me to bring out a part 2. And I will see you next time, people. I've been the Suppoman. It is lights out, all out.